Good morning. This is Kelley Hobart from Alpaca Direct, and I'm here today working on different ways that we can make our floats a little more relaxed and get a little more stretch out of those colorwork projects. And so, what I'm talking about, if you've never done colorwork before, you can see this hat that I've knit. And do you see those strands that go along the back? Those are called floats.
That's the inside of the hat, right?
Yes, it's the inside of the hat. I'll turn it to the other side in just a moment. So on this hat pattern that I just completed, it's knitting with two colors at a time. And that's what it looks like on the front. But what we're trying to do, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get more stretch out of our hat so that when we put it on our head and we're wearing it, it's nice and comfortable. And so we had one of our customers that was commenting last week about, or the week before. Anyway, they were commenting about knitting your color work inside out to increase the stretchiness of the actual product that you're knitting. And so I thought I would take it a little further and take a look at that and see if it actually did that for me. So we're going to take a look at that in a minute, and I'll show you how you knit inside out, and then I'll show you the stretchiness, and you can kind of decide for yourself what you think. All I would say about it is that anytime you try to change something up a little bit, it's a little awkward to start with. And so for me, when I was doing it, it felt like a fish out of water. But I'm sure with practice I would get better at it, and it was very interesting. So I'll show that to you in a minute.
So several people are coming online. There's
Good
people
morning,
from
everyone.
Michigan, New York.
Awesome.
Canada.
Yes, and every week we have a giveaway. And so for this last week, we had some ultra alpaca, and we like you to choose the colors. So the customer gets your favorite color, and then whoever votes gets the highest amount of votes, then we choose that color. And I think for this last week, it was the ultra alpaca chunky in this
Purple.
colorway. Was it the purple one?
Yeah.
Okay. This was the colorway. I do kind of like this one because it has a lot of gray in it. I don't know. It's really pretty. And this is a 50-50 blend by Barocco. It's called Ultra Alpaca Chunky, and it is 50% Peruvian Highland wool and 50% superfine alpaca. So it's a great versatile yarn. And then for this week, I was thinking, I don't know, if you wanted to do color work and you were doing it for kids, maybe I thought we could have two choices for this week, one for the boys and one for the girls. So maybe a navy and gray and a fuchsia and the lighter pink, baby pink. And so you guys vote and let me know what you like, and I can send that out. So this is an 100% acrylic yarn, but if you've never knit with this Barocco Comfort, the price of it is very reasonable. And the product, if you can see it, it has no shine to it. It knits up really nice. It makes incredibly nice fabric. And so you guys help me choose for next week whether we should do the navy and the gray or the dark pink and light pink. So those are the choices for this week. And then
you know what you should have done? You should have done blue and yellow for this week.
Oh, I'll do that. I'm going to do that in upcoming. So Jim said I should have done the blue and the yellow to support Ukraine. And yes, my eyes have been glued to the TV because we have developers that software developers that have been working with our family for years, and they're very much like our son. Our son is a lot of them. It's a very young college town. In Kiev, right? In Kiev. And the gentlemen are they're like computer programmers and very intelligent, wonderful English speaking. I can't say enough great things about them because we have been working alongside them for years and have been to Ukraine, and our son has been there as well, and it's beautiful. So my heart goes out to everyone there, and boy, I can't say how proud I am of President Zelensky and how he has stood up and encouraged the people to unite. And it's actually united our country. So, our thoughts and prayers are with the people in Ukraine. And I've been looking for some projects to knit for Ukrainian designers. And so if you guys have any ideas about that, please let me know. And also prayer shawls and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah. Anyway, here is the 2-color work again. And I just wanted to show you, if you see really quick here, this is the pattern that I'm using this morning. And I'll show you my little sample that I had here. And I guess the first thing that I was thinking when I was looking at that is we're just going to take a look at take a closer look at knitting inside out. So I made this little sample this morning. And if you look on the inside here, it's the same pattern as the one that's shown over on that hat. And you can see here, this bottom part right here, what I knit it doing the traditional way, stranded, using one color in my right hand and one color in my left hand and knitting along that way. And then this top part,
I was Colorwork, is what you're saying?
This bottom part is traditional colorwork. And then right in here, I started knitting inside out. And at first it felt really weird. It's like, okay, what am I doing? But I'll show you as soon as I can untangle my mess here, what I was doing, and you can just see what you think of it. And if any of you have tried this knitting inside out before, if you could post comments of maybe some stuff that you've learned or some hints that we can all use. So I guess when this is where my beginning of the round is, because that's where my tails are. And if you look at it, when you pick up your different colors, you have to be careful when you're going around these corners so you don't actually drag the working yarn up over the top of your needles, because that could give you extra stitches, and then that wouldn't be cool, if you know what I mean. So so I have my work here, and I'm at the beginning of the round. Actually, that goes right in the back. And so I pull out my needle. This is where my last stitch was on the needle, and I can't knit that stitch twice. So my chart tells me now I should be knitting 3 reds, and then so I will grab my working yarn from the red colorway and come around here. Now, when you come around this corner and you're knitting inside out, it does give you a lot of extra yarn, but it could give you too much extra yarn. So I'm thinking that you want to just snug that up just a little bit. You see how I'm taking this needle and putting it by this cord right here? You want to do that so you don't get ladders developing, and you want to, and then when you're working with your working yarn, make sure it's gone on the outside, not the inside. So it's telling me to do 3 in that red colorway, and then 1 in the gold, and then it's 2 red. And when you're going around your circles, always, I'm interlocking the float here so that I have that, because I have to knit 3 more reds on this part, so I interlock the yellow color. So I'll show you again what I was doing with that. So you can see that when I'm doing this, it's a little bit, the tension thing is a little bit weird. And it's me. It's because I'm not used to doing this yet. So if I'm going to interlock my float in my left hand, all I have to do is go under here and put that old color up on top, and then just knit as usual. Do you see how it grabbed that float, the yellow color? And then I'm going to go ahead and knit 1, and then I'll go ahead and do 2. I think I'll grab that one again.
What are you showing here?
I'm just simply knitting inside out. And I was just also showing them how I interlock my floats. And I'm knitting with both my right hand and my left hand.
And what's the advantage of this?
Jim said, what is the advantage of this? And that supposedly a lot of people say that if you knit with your color work, your floats on the outside of your work, it actually is more stretchy. It gives you more stretch in your finished project. So like when you put this hat on your head, the floats in the back are even looser, so it has more give to it. And sometimes traditional colorwork can be rather tight. So you go to put your hat on your head, and then it's not good because you can't get it over your head because your floats are tight and they're constricting the fabric so that you can't actually stretch it, which, that can create a little problem, don't you think? Yeah. And so on here, I did a couple reds, and I want to interlock that golden color, the kind of wheat colored one. And then, oops, but don't split your yarn. And then when you go and you're going around that corner, don't forget that to just tighten it up a little bit. You don't want to put a death grip on it, because what you don't want to do is make the tension on this edge and that edge too tight, because believe you me, I've done that before, and what it does is it leaves like a bubble, and it's not a good look at all, and nor is it good for the fabric. It really constricts the fabric, so you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So again, I'm interlocking that float with my left hand, and then I'm just going to knit on, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second here. And you just knit along here according to our little pattern that we have. And I'll interlock that one again. When you're interlocking floats, I don't know if you're not familiar with interlocking and doing color work, make sure that you're not interlocking your floats in the same spot on every round, because if you do that, it leaves a funny looking pattern that is not desirable on the outside of your work. So when you interlock floats on one round, you just make sure on the next round that you interlock them in a different spot. Okay. So let's flip this inside out. So that is another, and let's see what we got. Okay. So you can see on here, this is my gold. You see how the tension is kind of not quite as even. It might block out, but I like this stitch is really big and that one's not very big. And these ones down here seem smoother. It's me, because I have been knitting using this method for years, and this method is brand new. So what you would want to do if you wanted to try a new method, I would recommend trying it on a swatch or something like that. Something that's not your finished project, that you can learn from and adjust to it and get used to it, and then do your beautiful work on the other side. So if I have these two, if I look at this top here and I try to pull it sideways as opposed to, can you see in this tube? Mm-hmm. It feels as if this top one is going to have a little bit looser tension. So maybe it does work.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's the answer.
Yeah, so that's the answer. I mean, when I'm filling the bottom, that is, but right up in here, it seems to be pulling out sideways. So it did loosen up the floats.
So what's the
verdict is, if you do your color work inside out, it does loosen up the floats.
There you go.
So all you have to do is practice it so you can get your tension even and not have it kind of funky like I did on that line, on that round. So I think that with a little bit of practice, doing your floats inside out, doing your floats on the outside of your work may give you looser floats and more relaxed fit, so it isn't too tight. So yeah, I think it is something worth pursuing. Thank you to our customer who brought that up. So that what's that?
One of the viewers on our
Yes, one of our viewers on the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And so thank you. That's great. That was a good thing to look at. And it does take a little practice. You could see even from that little swatch that I did, I'm like a fish out of water at first, but I started getting more comfortable with it fairly quickly. So it's not too difficult to switch from one way to the other. And it's kind of a neat little skill. Pretty cool. All righty. So don't forget, you guys, we got to vote. And the winner for this Ultra Alpaca Chunky was the pink colorway.
Mhm.
And then I was
Purple.
thinking the pink, purple-ish lilac with lots of gray. It's so pretty. I love this color. It's one of my favorites. And then for this week, you could do a baby sweater out of this amount of yarn, you know. Yeah, for a newborn. Yeah, you could totally do that. So you guys choose what color you think.
And what is it again, so they know?
More girls and boys.
No,
this is Comfort DK. It's in 100% acrylic yarn, but it's a super nice acrylic yarn. Do you see how it's not shiny? I like that. Some acrylic yarns are super shiny when you knit them up, and they kind of look fake, like not real fibers. And that's not my favorite look, but this looks really nice. And when you wash it up, it feels great to the touch. Oh my gosh, it's a wonderful fiber. So let's see what we are for this next week. I was thinking, don't you think I should do a pom-pom? It's been a while since we discussed, because I wanted to do a pom-pom on this hat. I was thinking I would show our pom-pom maker. I would make a pom-pom live on camera, and then I would show you, if you don't own your own pom-pom maker, then here's how you can make your own. And I could just make it online. Yeah, I thought that was cool. So I'll do that for next week. And let's take a look and see. Oh, the winner is Alice Edmiston. Yay, Alice, you have some lovely alpaca and wool yarn. This is very versatile. If you haven't tried this Ultra Alpaca Chunky by Barocco, it's a great yarn. So Alice, all you have to do is get in contact with us at customer service, and we can send this lovely yarn out to you. I'm sure you'll enjoy knitting with it. It's a great yarn. And it has pretty nice yardage. It's like 147 yards or so for the Ultra Alpaca Chunky. And so you can actually do fingerless mitts, or you know, there's some good things you can get done even with one skein, or a lovely hat too. That would make a lovely hat. And so did I miss anything, Jim? I don't think we did. So next week, remember, you're talking about pom-poms. And this week we learned turning your work inside out and knitting your color work on so that your floats are on the outside gives more relaxed floats. You guys should try it. Make sure you practice before you pull out your really expensive yarn and do a project, and it doesn't look perfect, because you know, when we first learn something, we might need to try it once or twice before we get it down.
Some people said, where's Sydney?
Oh yes, Sydney had to stay home today because Mama is busy. I have I'm up to my ears in projects and working on a lot of things for our knit club and all different kinds of things. So she had to stay home today, and she's being such a good girl. When I left, she was very tired. She was in her bed upside down sleeping. And so she is doing great. And tonight is her last puppy class. She graduates from puppy class. And what else? I am sure I told you last week, she's doing great on her potty training. No accidents. And I can't even remember the last time she's had an accident. Okay, so she does go outside. She has to go outside quite often. And that might be Jim and my fault, because we always give her a treat when she comes back in. So anytime she wants a treat, she scratches on the back door, and she knows she goes out the back door. And she turns around and looks at us like, aren't I a good girl? Now can I come in and get my treat?
50 times a day.
She has us trained. Oh, dogs are so smart. But anyway, I hope all of you have a great week, and keep Ukraine in your prayers as you're going through this week. And we will talk to you next Tuesday.